Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And Fridays are usually a remembering day, but today I got to cut it short. We got a big rivalry game going on tonight at the high school, and I gotta be there in a short bit. So we're gonna make this short and sweet. But being that it's a sports day tonight, Friday Night Football's big down here. I was gonna talk about the wild sports night that was going on last night, and it was heartbreak for the city of Philadelphia. Not only did the Phillies lose in one of the most bizarre, heartbreaking ways a team can lose in California and Los Angeles, but in New York, on the other side of the country, the Eagles got ramrodded by the Giants, who only a couple of weeks ago they were talking about firing the coach and overhauling the front office. They were booing Russell Wilson out of the building, and it all looked like a disaster. And then all of a sudden, frat boy autumn started with Jackson Dart and Cameron Skidaboo. And these guys have now brought hope and dreams to Giantland. They've essentially saved their head coach's job. I mean, they don't have to win 10 games, they don't have to make the playoffs. But if they show improvement, 6-7 wins, yeah, he's back. Dable. And Dart looks like the type of guy that's going to be a top quarterback, but we'll get to him later. But last night, if you were watching the game, and it was a tremendous game between the Phillies and the Dodgers, this was a heavyweight matchup that I curse Major League Baseball for this whole garbage system of wild card and wild card brackets and all this other bullshit. This should have been the NLCS. These two teams are too good to face each other in some divisional round, which in baseball, but it was another heartbreaking night for Philly fans after a disastrous error in the 11th inning in Game 4 that saw them crash out of the playoffs at the hands of the Dodgers, defending champs. The Dodgers won last night 2-1 and they went on to clinch the NL Division Series with the win, and they go on to the NLCS. But the game will likely be remembered now for how the Phillies lost it rather than how the Dodgers won it. Extra innings were needed to separate the two teams at Dodger Stadium after a tense, nail-biting contest. And the scoring started in the 7th inning when Nick Castellanos, right fielder for the Phillies, drove in Max Kepler in the top of the 7th. 1-0 Phillies. 7th inning stretch, bottom of the 7th. What do the Dodgers do? The Dodgers do what they always do. Justin Dean scored for LA off a walk with the bases loaded in the bottom of the inning. Essentially, the Dodgers scored their 2 runs without having to get a hit. And this was a stage that was set for a moment when Phillies pitcher Orion Kettering would probably love to forget, but he will be remembered in the annals of baseball history with this one. The bases were loaded, 2 outs in the 11th inning. Andy Page is up, Dodger outfielder, and he struck a routine ground ball back to Kettering. On a normal given day, the reliever would have thrown to first base for the easy out, and it would have been top of the 12th. Instead, Kettering fumbled. He fumbled the ball before trying to throw it to home plate, where his attempt missed JT Realmuto's outstretched mitts. The baffling error allowed Kim Yi-sung to score the winning run and send the home crowd into delirium. During the incident, Realmuto was pointing. You can see him point to first. And afterwards, Kim said that he was equally surprised the pitcher chose to throw home. The Dodgers second baseman initially ran past home plate before returning to touch it. So he actually missed. Can you imagine? He missed home plate. He had to run back to it. Wild celebration sparked around him. Kittering was left standing motionless with his head bowed in the middle of the field before some of his teammates came to collect him. Kittering was told reporters after the game in the post conference, and I quote, "Just hit off my foot." The visually emotional Kittering said after the game. Once the pressure got to me, I just felt that there's a little faster throw to JT, little quicker throw than trying to crossbody it to Bryce Harper at first. So it was just a horseshit throw. I'm going to attempt to show you this. I hope it doesn't get struck for a copyright. But this is just to play itself. I have it queued up right off the bat. And if you didn't see it, here is what you call wetting the bed, my friends. He shit his pants at the least possible time. This is why Mariano Rivera was so fucking invaluable. Here we go.
No balls and a strike. Pages breaks his bat. Kirkering gotta find it. Throws to the plate. Oh my goodness! He throws it away, and the Dodgers have won. The Dodgers win, and they are moving on to the NLCS.
It's heartbreaking, man. I mean, these moments can make you a hero or a goat in an instant. And a city like Philadelphia, much like a city like New York or Boston, Chicago, they're very unforgiving. They're very unforgiving. You almost have to trade this guy because I mean, you don't have to, but it's going to be very difficult. He'll be remembered forever for that play, unless next year the Phillies have a run and he's a big part of it. I don't see that happening. But that's just me. Now, the second part of the Philly disaster happened up in MetLife Stadium, what used to be called Giant Stadium. Now it's just one of the worst stadiums you'll ever go to. I've been there a few times. It's the worst field. I believe that there has been more ACL injuries on that field than anywhere else. And for this guy Skidaboo to do these flips and cartwheels and all this shit, I mean, if I'm Brian Daboll, I would ban my players from doing that. I went to a 49er game, 5 years ago? They lost like 3 guys to high ankle sprains and ACL tears on that field. It was awful. And the Giants lost a few guys too. I mean, the Giants lost neighbors. They got to do something. The NFL has to investigate it, but they say the field is great. All right. But do the Giants need this victory? Yes. Yes. Now, if some of you are sports fans in New York, you would know that John Mara is battling cancer, and we pray for him every day. But he was at the game last night, and head coach Brian Daboll, who has been a target for the media and social media mob, really, really needed this victory. If the Giants had kept on losing, he might not have finished the season. Every player in the Giants locker room, especially those who endured the loss after the loss to the Eagles, because the Eagles, I think, won 10 in a row against these guys, they needed this too. The fans needed it. They were loud. They were into it. And the Giants earned every bit of their praise in spades last night as they ran over the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs, 34-17, in a commanding and complete result, as complete a result that you can get. And it was as important of a victory that a Week 6 game could be for any team, for any coach. The Giants, of course, are still under 500. They're 2-4. They're not gonna be a 10, 11 win team. Let's not go crazy. But if they're playing games like this, if they're competitive, Daboll will stay. This was the most complete Giant performance I think I've seen in maybe 10 years. And Dable was handing the game ball over to Mara in the locker room afterwards, calling him one tough cookie. The game ball should have been given to the entire team because the Eagles have dominated this rivalry for, I mean, 16 of the past 20, dating back a decade. The Eagles have won 16 of the past 20 games dating back the last 10 years. 8 consecutive NFC East games have been lost, second longest division drought in NFL history. And last night, for the whole nation to see it, the Giants were just commanding. The Eagles are in big, big trouble here. Now, the Eagles are a little banged up. And next week for the Giants, it doesn't get any easier. They got Denver, and then they got the Eagles again in Philadelphia. And believe me, the Eagles will be ready for that one. But the Giants did things last night that they hadn't done maybe in 3 years. They were 11 of 16 on third downs. Their defense created 2 game-changing turnovers. Their run offense, their rushing, they had 172 yards rushing. The Eagles had 73. Now, here's another thing about this guy, Dart. He has to learn how to slide. He will not survive in this league if he runs with reckless abandon like he does. He has got swagger. He's got this, him and Scatterboo both have this frat boy mentality where they're dancing around and having fun and doing all this stuff. And listen, when you're winning, that's great. When you're making plays, that's great. But what this kid, Dart must do is he has to learn how to protect his body because these guys, once they start winning and once these defenses start seeing them and their antics, they're gonna fucking hit him. They're gonna hit him hard. And there's a bigger picture here. If you're a Giant fan, which I'm not, there's a much bigger picture here, and that is not this year; it's next year and the years beyond. The one fear I would have for Jackson Dart and Scatterboo too is the fact that Dart, especially a quarterback, good looking, he's got the blonde fucking hair. He's got this swagger. He's got this attitude. Both of these guys expect to win. They're not, they're not deers in headlights. They have the attitude that they want to win. They expect to win. That you can't teach that. But Dart has to avoid the pitfalls of New York. New York has something very unusual. It has the glitz and the glamour. Well, you could say Los Angeles has that, right? You could say Miami has that. Los Angeles and Miami are missing one thing that New York has. New York has a very, very, very venomous media. Now, you could say Philadelphia has that. Chicago has that. And you'd be right. But there's no city that has both. There's no city that has the glitz and the glamour, the attractiveness, and the venomous, vicious media that will come at you and literally destroy you if they're given the chance. I lived in New York. I've been involved in media in New York. I can tell you that there are people out there. They may be giant beat writers. They are looking for anything on this guy to destroy his life. That's how venomous these motherfuckers are. He must not fall into the trap of a Jeremy Shockey, of so many other New York players guys who came to New York and the city just swallowed them up. He must avoid that at all costs. He must. Otherwise, he'll just be another disappointment. He'll be another Odell Beckham. He'll be another, The list goes on and on. The list goes on and on. He has tremendous potential, Dart does, but he has to control himself. He has to control himself on the field, not to get hurt, not to leave himself exposed, but he also must control himself in where it's even more dangerous outside of the stadium, off the field. That's where that's the only thing, the only weakness I see with him is that he's a good-looking young guy making a lot of money, and let me tell you, it will be raining pussy on him for a long time here in New York. A long time if he's here, and it can destroy you. It can destroy you. And this is a city that is very, very unforgiving. If you're not tough enough, if you're not strong enough, it will chew you up and spit you out without no problem. But other than that, it was a tremendous night for the Giants, a tremendous night for the Dodgers. Absolute fucking heartbreak for the city of Philadelphia. Philly fans and Eagle fans, I believe, are a little different. The Eagle fans are ferocious. I've been to Eagle games where, if you have New York plates, they turn your car over. Philly fans are a little different. So, but last night, and the Flyers lost too, if you're interested in hockey. So that's 3. The bad things come in 3. Let's see if it continues for the Giants. Next week is going to be difficult. They got Denver. And for the Eagles, they got trouble in the locker room with this A.J. Brown talking shit. And they have a lot of injuries, and they got to straighten things up. Now, the thing for the Eagles is they have the best defensive coordinator outside of Belichick that I've ever seen. His name is Vic Fangio. He'll get this ship right. It's not their defense. It's their offense. They must do something about their offense. And for the Giants, like I said, they must keep this. They have to keep this tandem, Dart and Skidaboo, with a short leash. Because let me tell you, in a couple of years, you look at Giant Stadium, there will be a lot of jerseys with numbers 6 and 44 on them. They will be the new. It's going to be frat boy winter if they keep this up. New York loves you when you're young, beautiful, and you come out of nowhere as a winner. Next year is going to be different because next year they're going to expect you to win. And they're not going to want a 6 and 11 or a 7 and 10 year. They're going to want those numbers to be switched over. So we'll see what the future holds for these 2 young men. But if you're a Giants fan, you're happy. You got hope. If you're a Jets fan, it's a disaster. 0-5, one of the worst teams, one of the most irresponsibly run teams I think I've seen in North American sports. But that's a topic for another day. I'm gonna see about this weekend. We're expecting a nor'easter here up at the East Coast, so I might be stuck in the house, and maybe I'll do a review, a remembering of an album. I was thinking of doing Dark Side of the Moon, but we'll see. All right, so that's my 2 cents. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Beware, my friends. Satan is always busy. Remember that. Be a man. Have a backbone. Because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. Have a good weekend.